Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy YouLoveNicktana, but you guys can call me Nicktana, and we're back finally again with another episode of Tana's Eye View podcast. We've been taking a little bit of break on my end of the thing for the podcast just so I could work on my content creation and everything else that's going on with my life. I'm finally getting back into the gym, picking up more of my content on my off days, stuff like that. But I finally had time to get the pod together, so I asked the boys, I was like, come on through so we could get you guys episode 14 of the pod. If you guys are new here and you guys are checking this out for the first time, make sure you guys rate this shit 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you guys get your podcasts, and welcome. We'd love to have you here. This is a podcast basically about gaming, Twitch. We're all streamers here usually that come onto the show, and just basically stuff that I want to talk about, that I want to get off my chest or that I see in my eye view. We got a regular on the show now. He just purchased his first good game in about a year. I'm very proud of him. We got the boy.
Why are you talking about Judge like that? That's rude.
We got my boy LolKStew, man. Tell the people where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
I mean, I'll make my introduction short because I've done this a couple times already. So yeah, LolKStew on everything. Very fond person of all sorts of good games. I'm like what Tana's saying over here. Little bandwagoner, but that's fine. We'll talk about that another time.
Bandwagoner. Bandwagoner is a crazy word though. Like, I have not hopped on any bandwagon. I mean, sorry. Look, hold on. We might talk about we can justify it.
Hey, how many Kirby games you played before?
Zero. I made that so clear to everybody.
How many Borderlands games you played before?
Zero. But that's fine. There's a time for everything. There's a time for everything. Yeah. There's a time for everything. As someone growing up, I was a very COD heavy kid. Like, even when World at War dropped for Call of Duty, I didn't even know what it was. Yeah, that's one of my favorite CODs of all time. I never even knew about the game or what Call of Duty was until somebody from my school. I literally had an Xbox 360. First game I ever played off it, Halo 3. I had Halo 3, Forza, and I think Gears of War or something.
Gears.
But I was like, hey man, I was talking to my friend. He's a big gamer. I was like, hey, what game should I get? I'm thinking about asking a game for my birthday. He's like, you got to get COD. And that very moment where I got COD, World at War, it was like, it just changed my life. But I played COD a lot throughout my years. It took me a while to really get back into that variety gaming. So yes, I have jumped on the bandwagon a little bit, but I do have good taste. I got good taste.
All right. You said a little bit. Only a little bit?
A little. I got good taste. I got good
Only
taste.
A little bit.
Also, anyway, to finish it off, LolKStew, variety streamer, play a lot of games, and we'll throw it to Judge before we go off on a tangent again. At least let him get his intro in before we start roasting each other.
I want to know what games you've been playing real quick before we toss it to Judge.
Elden Ring.
That's all you got to say?
Yeah.
You see him cheesing over there?
There? So good. I held off on it for so long, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to buy into the hype. I'm fine. And then I bought it, and I'm like, I have friends being like, hey, you want to come play this? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'll go play Elden. Even my buddy, he's like, hey, you want to games? And I'm like, I'm playing Elden Ring, and he just gets off. He's like, whatever. That's like, I can't tear myself away from that game. It's so good.
It's so hard, and Nick just won't.
Look, I got myself to level 37, okay? I killed the sleeping dragon, got the 37. I beat a few bosses. That was good enough for me, man. Like,
there's so much more.
I know there is. I know there is.
I'm like at 37, and there's still so much to do. And I've been running around like exploring the map, clearing it. You probably got a lot that you've missed too, because I even go back and I'm like, how the fuck did I miss this?
Mm-hmm.
I got 100 levels on you, bro. I'm at 139.
Dude, it's just like the thing about that game is like I got it, and so like remember when we did the podcast before and I sat there and I was like, man, Elden Ring, why the fuck is everybody hyped for this game? Why is everybody so hyped about Elden Ring? What is this? I don't know, whatever. And
I was like that too. I was just like, oh cool,
yeah,
Dark Souls 4, woohoo, and then I started playing and it's like, oh.
I'm like, this is like everybody's like, this is the Lord and Savior of video games, and just like seeing everybody come together and try it at least was very cool for me. And like even me, never played a Dark Souls game. I know a lot of people that were into it. I had a friend come over one time and he showed me Dark Souls 3, and he just showed me a lot of people just like not getting hit and going through the game and stuff and completing it. And like in my head, I didn't get it. I'm like, why? Like, I don't think of games naturally being that hard. So it was like, just like a weird learning curve for me. So like me picking it up for the first time, I really got into it, and I'm like, man, this game does look really beautiful. I was like, the enemies are very different. They're obscured. They really put in a lot of time with the area, knowing that you could go wherever you want, and just like the combat. I was like, it looks very nice. And then you kind of just play it, and then like I think it's overwhelming just for me, just because it's like, dude, I could go wherever I want.
So much to do.
Yeah, so
or like explore
wherever you want, whenever you want, however you want. In my head, that's like a bad thing for me, because it's like you're pretty much giving me so much open leeway that I don't know what to do, because it's like it's so much. It's like I like to follow like not say super linear, but at least like give me like some sort of direction. Like, hey, you should be going this way, or you should be. This is like where the recommended path would be. They say
I was like that for like when I first started playing, because I kind of like at least a little bit of guidance, and I was like, all right, this is a little overwhelming. Like, what the hell do I do? But then it's like, eventually, at least for me, it kind of clicked where I'm like, you know what? Like, who gives a shit about like the campaign? I'm gonna go explore. So I just would like see a path, and I'm like, what's up here? And I would just go. And
Yeah.
it's like I start finding stuff, and it's like, let's go over here now. And
yeah, because that's the thing. It's like you could go left, and they'll basically say go left or right. Whatever path is harder, you should probably go left. And it's like, or you could go back south, or if you really skip over all this, then you can do all that. But
yeah, I did that. There was a boss in the castle, and it's like you either could have fought the boss and gone through the castle, or go completely around it, skip him entirely. And that's what I did. And I was like, oh wait, and when I finally beat the boss, I was like, oh wait, I've been here before. My buddy's like, yeah, you bypassed the entire castle. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Sweet.
like that's the thing, is like I don't think I'd ever pick it up. Like Judge is on the wave. He's trying to convince me. He was in my basement yesterday, bro. Wild berry truly up. Don't let him fool you. He had a wild berry truly. He was just like me. I'm just saying. And he was convincing me. He's like, look. He's like, I think you give it another shot. Because I told him the same shit. He got it. We both got it day one. Well,
yeah, I remember.
I'll let you explain your story.
I didn't get it day one.
I'll let you explain. I'll let you explain your story. I want you to go ahead, introduce yourself, baby. My muffin, my boy Judge. He's a great friend of mine. All looking all cute up, man. Tell the people who you are, what games you've been playing, and just where to find you and shit. You know.
Because I've been here, a few times now. I'll probably just Judge Dreads, the usual culprit.
Culprit.
Can I interrupt real quick? You guys don't have to make it sound so bad that you guys are on here all the time, you know?
No,
It's just, I'm not gonna go on a full.
I'll record by I can record by myself and talk to my computer screen. That just hurts my. I've been on here, man.
I just don't want to hit them with the same stuff that I said before. Like, hey, my shoe size is 10 and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like long walks on the beach. I like chocolate ice cream. I don't want to hit them with that same spew every time that I come on.
And you know what? If your listeners haven't listened to the previous episodes, then that's their fault. Like, if they don't know who we are, that's on them.
Talk that talk, Stu. Talk that stuff. Talk that talk, man. That's what we like to hear. Yeah, you guys.
That ain't even on us. You can't get mad at us. That's on them. If they're like, wait, who are these guys? It's like, hey, dog, go back to like episode 1.
That's totally fair. Okay. Look, now we're getting somewhere. That's.
But we still love all your listeners. Don't hate us.
We do. Make sure you guys rate 5 stars just for Stu, and me,
exactly,
and Judge. Just rate 5 stars for all of us. We love you. But go ahead, man. Tell the people about yourself and what games you've been playing.
Like I said, JD, Judge Dreads. I don't know if I can call myself a streamer yet, just because I haven't been consistent. But what have I been? Elden Ring is all I've been playing, dude. That's literally.
These things are so good.
I swear literally,
all I've been playing is Elden Ring. It's just every time that I boot the game up, there's always something else to do. Like, I'm continuously finding new things, and I've been playing a lot, and I keep finding more and more things. I literally just got all the legendary summons in the game, which was an achievement for doing that. And I'm like, even though I'm up there in level, because it costs about 150,000 for me to get one level.
Oh my god!
As far as
that's gross.
I'm at like the 10,000 per level.
That's so gross, bro. I can't even imagine trying to get 150,000 runes.
It's actually, once you get to the bird farm, it's actually pretty easy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's when I seen that, I'm like, oh man, that's heavy.
Mhm.
But you know, you're at a point where you are wrecking stuff now. Like, okay, it doesn't seem so tough. Like, all right, it's doable. You can literally look at a fight and be like, you know what, I know where I made the mistake. I know how to do this, and just do it. Like, cool. You just once you get the pattern down, it's okay.
That's the thing with Elden Ring is it's like you have to you can't just like because I've played like platinum games like Bayonetta, Metal Gear, like games like Devil May Cry, and you can kind of just go in, attack, the hell? You can just spam attacks, all that stuff, and like you kind of don't have to learn it. Elden Ring, if you do that, like the game's gonna humble you really quick, and it's like it took me a long time to unlearn that. But it's like once you do, it's like because what was the Godric the Grafted or whatever? That dude fucked me up for 2 days, man. I was like, this sucks. And then like once I was like, you know what? Let me sit down, learn his moveset. It's like, all right, cool. Like started getting better and started like learning. Still, there's one move he did, I couldn't dodge it. I've never dodged it once, and I'm like, what the hell? But it's so rewarding once you learn it and you're like, all right, like roll this, dodge this, like block this, kill him. It's like, yes.
And then it gets even crazier, especially when you get with friends. The issue with the multiplayer in that game is it is if you're higher level, like then they heavily debuff you.
So like if you were to join me, like I'm like a level like 30 something, you're like a 130, like you get debuffed to shit.
I'm not even close to my full strength. And so it's annoying because I fight with the tools that I'm used to having. So when I come in and I'm trying to do what I normally do as far as fighting style, it's like, nah.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. I thought you could just invite a high level friend in there and they could just steamroll the game for you. I didn't know that it pulls them down.
I mean, the cool thing is you still get all of your abilities. It just drops the damage down to where you are. So you still get like really hard hitting attacks. So I guess, to that enemy, it still could suck if you're getting with you're getting hit with a late game weapon that they can't counter because they're not used to it. Mog's ritual spear literally gives you an AoE of blood loss. So literally they cannot escape that dome as long as you have the FP. And it's probably one of the most OP weapons in the game, but it was worth it. It was worth it. A lot of that stuff is worth it. I love the loot. I love the loot so much. It's like, oh man, I got this, I got that, I got that armor. So many weapons, and then when you go into New Game Plus, there's some weapons you can't even get to go to New Game Plus.
That's just so crazy, because like I just felt like I never experienced that same thing. It always felt like finding loot for me was always so hard. Finding a weapon that really fit my playstyle and like getting it pretty early access to even farm or do anything was kind of tough for me. And then plus the crafting system kind of confused me as well. Like I think everything was just so confusing. They literally they give you a tutorial, but they don't give you like, they say like,
tutorial just shows you like, here's how you stealth attack, here's how you block, here's how you move. It doesn't be like, here's
combat. Yes. Like
it doesn't. The easiest crafting system that I've ever seen, because literally all you need is the stuff and then you click a button.
Yeah, but you gotta know.
It doesn't tell you anything.
You gotta know what to do with it. It's like I saw burning pots. I saw multiple other things that it's like, what do I get this for? Like as soon as I loaded up, I remember the first thing one of my friends said. He's like, you're gonna get in game and you're gonna go ahead and get the crafting kit and you're gonna craft this. In my head, I'm like, why?
See, and that's the tough part, bro. Like you can't let somebody else tell you how you should play it. That's the problem. So people are telling you like, hey Nick, do this first. Not the case. Yeah, I don't use items. Not those. I can craft them. I don't use them. I've never used them.
The only item I've ever used is the cures poison, because it's like that's fucking annoying. I'm like, all right, let me just craft this bitch real quick.
Yep, the blouses, or I'll craft arrows, or I'll craft gold prickle foul foots. I won't craft anything else.
Yeah, and like I didn't really love my build from the beginning too, because I picked the prisoner, because I picked confessor. I picked the confessor actually first. And I was like, this build just doesn't seem...
You said the confessor?
Yeah, I was like, for some reason, I just didn't love it. And then a lot of people were like, I think you should try go prisoner. And I did. And just having magic, I had a wand in one hand, a staff in one hand. My fault, wand. and then a sword in the other. And I was kind of doing one-handed combat with magic.
I
and
still have that.
And it helps me for the longest time, but it's like I did also like having the shield to parry. Like parrying is like that'd be my shit.
I don't know how to parry, bro. I haven't parried not one time in the whole game.
I parried once against the regular enemy, and I felt so good.
It's just
I haven't parried at all.
It's literally basically you let them hit your shield and then you heavy attack. And you
that's a riposte. A parry is like a parry is like if you have to time a block frame perfect, and when you do it, it insta staggers them.
Oh, okay.
Even bosses, if you parry a boss, it will instantly stagger them. But it's like you have to hit it perfectly.
Okay.
I said I hit it once against like a dude in armor, and I was like, I did it, and then I haven't hit it since. I don't even use my shield anymore hardly. I'm like, fuck this.
Because that's the thing. That's the thing, man. It's just like I really enjoy the game, and I think it looks beautiful, and I like going from town to town and seeing all the different enemies and what you could explore. But when it comes to actually playing the game, it's just not my shit. I mean, it's either you love it or you hate it. But I mean, like, just seeing the joy it brought out of original Dark Souls players that have been playing the series for a really long time and just love those type of games, and bringing in a whole new audience of people who would never even thought to play the game. Sick. who would have never even thought to play the game, or maybe hearing about it. Like I remember when the game first came out, TikTok For You page flooded.
My TikTok page
bro.
is still nothing but
my
Elden
God.
Ring.
When a game can do that in a game, like this is like, people are already talking about game of the year. Bro, it is April. It's April right now, but when that game came out, it was February, right? Or March? Beginning of March?
February.
It was
I think it was late February.
Late February, and people were talking about game of the year. Bro, it is February. If a game can really do that to someone, then that's impressive, bro. That's impressive.
People are saying the only game that's going to give that game a run for game of the year is Ragnarok.
Yes, sir. And we ready for that.
We get it.
Yes, sir. We ready for that. Yes, sir.
Sony, you're good for delays, and something's might come up, and they might push it just because they know, like, because I feel like Elden Ring's gonna be like, all right, cool, here's some more free DLC. And they're just gonna keep doing that with every patch.
I like how Elden Ring's first patch was just free DLC, and people were like, "This is a patch!" Like, and you added new monsters and loot, and it's like, wait, what?
See,
it's unheard of, because a lot of people don't throw in, like, look at Destiny. Like, I mean, Destiny's very successful, but Destiny also throws in DLC, and the last DLC was $100 when it first came out. Like, they throw in like $20, $30 DLCs all the time.
Dude, you gotta find some guides, dude. Like, I know, like, you seem like you don't like that type of thing to look shit up. Like, hey, how do I do this? You just want to find it.
I feel like it's very cheating. I never really looked up. Okay, so let's.
Never let Isaac tell you what to do if he's ever in your chat. He lies to you.
That's literally the person I listen to all the time. I don't know why I trust Isaac at all.
Yeah, he'd be like, hey, go down there, it's an easy boss, and it's like it's a boss that one hits me, and it's like, thanks.
I think I realized that when he told me, he's like, go fight the tree sentinel. I'm like, bro, I'm not fighting the tree sentinel. I'm like, what are you talking about? But like, the first game I really looked up a walkthrough was for Resident Evil Village, because you can kind of get lost in that game if you don't follow the correct path they want you to go. But they want you to, like, sneak around this place and do this. But I looked up stuff for that. And then, like, Tunic is just, for me, like, I feel like if you look up a walkthrough, that's kind of like, it's kind of like cheating. You feel it? Like, you feel like, because you're not like.
I usually look up like tips and tricks or like getting started kind of videos. I usually don't do walkthroughs.
Like, because what was I gonna say? Like, Tunic's a very hard game, and I got to a point to where I was getting frustrated because I'm like, bro, I uninstalled it, but it's like, what did I do? Like, I uninstalled it, then reinstalled it. But it's like, what was I doing wrong to where these alligators were just messing me up? Day after day after day after day. And I literally looked it up, and then it's like, oh, you could upgrade stuff. And I was like, I wouldn't even known unless I looked it up. But it's like these guys, like, I see a lot of people, like, 'cause it makes me feel dumb, because I see people that on YouTube, they'll do a playthrough and it'll be like 10 episodes. Like, I beat it in 6 hours, done. Bro, this shit has been taking me I've put in like 17 hours into the game, and I've only beaten one boss. It's tough.
There's also people who are just freaks. It's like the people who play the Dark Souls games and like do like a no-hit entire playthrough.
Disgusting.
Like,
it don't even make sense how you could beat that game in 19 minutes.
I saw someone who was playing,
bro.
I saw someone who was playing Elden Ring and they hooked up a MIDI keyboard and they were playing with a keyboard, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
I seen somebody use the Wii Fit ring. I'm like, why?
I saw another person use a Dance Dance Revolution pad, and I'm like, what are you doing? And like they beat a boss, and I'm like,
oh,
dog.
I saw that. Yeah, that one girl, I forgot her name.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I was like, if I saw this in person, I would be like, I'm not playing anymore.
I would have. She gets her props. She gets her flowers for sure. I can't even do it with a controller locked in on my 24-inch gaming monitor, let alone dancing and using your legs. But yeah, dude, good introductions. I appreciate that. Seriously. Yeah, thank you for that too, the burp. But let's get into like a little bit of the first topics. Since the last pod, a lot of stuff has happened, like a lot of stuff that I just haven't been able to cover. I'm going to go back and kind of just like give my 2 cents on some of the things that I missed out on that I want to talk about. One of them in general is the PlayStation Plus subscriptions. If you guys been living under a rock, there is a PlayStation is releasing their version of Game Pass, and I put air quotes in there for the video version just because it's not, I don't think it's a Game Pass competitor. I think this is their way to be able to give PlayStation fanboys their chance of playing older games.
Dog said PlayStation fanboys, you're about to get this podcast downvoted to shit.
Listen, there's Xbox fanboys too. Like I follow a lot of Xbox fanboys.
Yeah,
and
but
it's like
Sony fanboys get really, really upset really
quick.
Bro,
I have been buying every PlayStation exclusive that came out since my PS5. I'm technically one of them. Some of my favorite.
Until you go on Twitter and spam The Last of Us stuff under any video game tweet ever made, you're not one of them.
I don't think I'll play that game. I don't know. I want to, but I heard.
Dude, you're about to get a knock on your door about Jehovah's Witnesses. Now you got Last of Us.
Last of Us 1 was probably a really good game. Last of Us 2, I've heard very bad things about. I've watched playthroughs of Last of Us 2 without knowing anything about Last of Us 1.
But it's like the thing is, so it's like, I mean, we can jump into that PlayStation subscription. It's like I'll give my sense on it, and then y'all can take it away because there's only one thing I want to talk about that.
Can I get into like what each tier is real quick?
Oh, actually, yeah, do that. We didn't even talk about that. Cool.
So
what I say ties into that.
Basically, it's PlayStation Spartacus. I don't know if they gave it an exact term or anything yet, but there's essentially 3 packages. The first one, it's $10 a month, and basically. What you get is basically what PlayStation Now is you get the 2 downloadable games, and I think you get a PlayStation subscription with it. I'm trying to find
PS
it.
Plus, not PS Now. Also,
it's PS Plus is what it is.
Yeah, PS Now is the streaming thing.
Okay. So the essential package is basically you get the PlayStation Plus ownership. Is you get the free monthly games, access to Sony's online service, cloud saving, and discounts. If the extended tiers and additional content fees incur don't interest you, then okay, never mind. I'm going on. And then you get the next tier, which is actually $15 a month. And when you upgrade to the next tier, it's you get PS4 and PS3 games. You can't download them. You could stream the PS3 games, which is very weird. Which I mean, you're probably gonna want to talk about that, but
that's exactly the topic I wanted to talk about.
But you can't. You can only download the PS4 games, and you can only stream live the PS3 games. For some reason, they couldn't get copyrighted or something for that. But yeah, catalog of 400 games with the PS4, PS5, and PS3 games for $15 a month. And then if you get the premium, which is $18 a month, you get an additional 340 games, which includes PS3, PS2. PS1 and PSP games. Offers cloud streaming access for original PlayStation, PS2, PSP, PS4. Well, everything from the previous tiers and stuff like that. And then it says time-limited game trials will also be offered in this. And well, for the Plus or the Premium. And they didn't say something about day one exclusive. So with that information there, Stu has to get something off his chest. So go ahead and get into it. Oh, my internet went down. You gotta be fucking kidding. Sorry about that. Where did I cut off at?
You cut off at, you were talking about the top tier edition has PS4, PS3, and then you cut off. So you were talking about how it has the older games.
Yeah, so are you talking about the $18 a month? Okay, so the $18 a month, you get the PS5, PS4, PS3, PS2, PS1, and PSP games all in the catalog, and then you could stream some of them cloud service. You can download some of them cloud service, and then also you get game trials for that for a limited period of time. But they don't have day one exclusives like Game Pass. And I know Stu wanted to get into something about why he's hot about it. I'm definitely not a fan, but
my thing is just it's the streaming aspect of it. It's like, I'm sorry, but it's like especially in America, like a lot of other countries don't have internet data caps, but because we live in fucking capitalism 101, like you gotta put a price on everything. You know, most people have data caps, and it's like, granted, I know streaming a game, it's not like you're just streaming like gigabyte upon gigabyte upon gigabyte, but it's like you're still streaming. Like it's gonna eat up people's data, and it's like, one, you lose. I know they say, you know, latency is not bad, but it's like there's still a little bit of latency because you're streaming it, not playing it off of a local hard drive. And it's like, you're Sony, you're like one of the biggest companies on the planet. Like you can make local downloads work. Like it's not out of the realm of possibilities. You're one of the biggest gaming companies out there. Like figure that shit out. That's so stupid that they're like, oh, hey, you can only play a limited amount of our games. Oh, and you have to stream them too. Like what if your internet sucks? Like you're just like, oh cool, I pay $18 a month to play fucking The Last of Us on PS4 in fucking PS1 quality. Cool, sweet. Glad I'm paying money for this. Like stupid, man. Like
I get you.
And the no exclusives too. Like if it was if you got, you know, PS exclusives, like if you had the Spartacus and it's like download Ragnarok day one, cool. Why the fuck can't you? It's a PlayStation exclusive. Let people have that.
That's definitely where I get into things. It's just like
it's such greed. Like y'all are assholes for that, man.
I like the way I see it is I feel like they're not even trying to compete with Xbox at this point. Like I think they're just kind of off doing their own thing because they don't really care about the acquisitions that Xbox is making. They bought Destiny for the cinematics and stuff like that. And it seems like they're kind of focused on the live what are they called, bro? So like the live service games. Yeah, my fault. So it seems like they're focusing on that end of things and the cinematics, making the price more than what Game Pass is. You can't even get it on desktop, I don't think. And you can't download any of these games, and you're not getting day one exclusives. Like, granted, 840 game titles is insane. That's insane. Are you going to have that amount of time to play all those games? I don't think so. I mean, it might be cool to go back and maybe play a few of them or maybe go back and reminisce over some of them, but it just doesn't make from a business point of things, it just doesn't make sense to me. I think that's just more for the PlayStation like owners that had PlayStations their whole life that want to go back and play older games and stuff like that. Personally, that's just how I see it. They're not really trying to compete with Game Pass on it, but I don't completely hate it. I definitely think there's a market for it. It's just a weird when we are getting hyped up about it. It's like, oh, okay, so they're gonna come out with their own Game Pass. That would only make sense because Xbox's was so successful, and then they dropped the news, and it's like, it's not even that. It's not even close. It's just basically just trying to get people that love Sony and that been sent with Sony that whole time being able to play older games that they want to. You feel? But like, I'd rather just be able to like have the old disc that I have and then put it into my PS5 and play it that way too. Like, don't make me. I understand from a business point of that why they want to make this. They don't do that, so you pay for a service or you pay for it down the line to play it on your new system. But
yeah, it goes back to what I said. It's just greed at that point.
Just, yeah,
like, y'all really need more money.
I mean, because you get the Xbox Series X, you could play. Can't you go back to Series 360 games or no? How far back can you go?
I mean.
Some of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
Probably the ones they offer on Game Pass, but
probably.
Judge, how do you feel about this?
I know why Sony can't do it. And that's they can't afford it. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. They can't afford it. I'm saying you got to remember, you know, Sony's max value is what, like 50, 60 billion?
I can look it up.
135 billion.
$135 billion. Xbox is worth $2.5 trillion. That's Microsoft as a whole.
Windows, yeah, or Microsoft or whatever. That's a part of that.
$2.5 trillion. So Microsoft takes hits on those games by doing that. Sony can't afford it. they put so much money into developing those games and then give it out for a subscription, they can't afford it. They came out and said that when they first was developing Project Starter Kit. Like, we can't afford to give you these games like that. We can't do day one. We can do it later after all, all the hype is gone, but they can't afford it.
Well, like, you could kind of respect it from that thing too, because you're getting the quality over the quantity of games. Like, I feel like Xbox is gonna have those quantity of games to where they could just dish it out to like people that have maybe a few kids and a family. It's just like, okay, we can get on this account. You could download this game and you could try out these games before purchasing it. It's more of like a budget friendly thing. But like PlayStation, they produce these really high quality games that are really, really good, like S tier, like AAA games, like that.
Yeah, but
been very
like
successful.
Xbox's, their first party games that are to that level, they're coming out on Game Pass too. You know what I'm saying? So Xbox can, like I said, they can take that hit. They're gonna make that money in so many other places.
But the thing with Xbox is it's not Xbox, it's Microsoft. The OS that the entire fucking world uses. Like Xbox is this, Microsoft is this. Like
right. So
Xbox can choose. Yeah, like you said, Xbox can fuck around. They're like, who gives a fuck? Throw $1 billion at this.
Right, and then what they're doing with cloud-based tech, they're the leaders in it now because they bought the companies that they needed to. So everybody's got to come.
Azure, right?
Yeah, so they have to come to them for cloud. Like Sony's putting their shit in their cloud, so they really can't. Like I said, I'm saying like everybody's Sony, and like Xbox is like, we don't really care if you want to be number one in gaming, but you want to put out quality content. They're taking the Nintendo approach. Nintendo said, you know what, we're not gonna put out a AAA system. We're gonna attack the families because there are more families than there are gamers, and that's why the Wii was so successful.
Why can't you just be both? Damn it! I'm both.
So, I mean, it makes sense because now they're about to. Microsoft is coming out with the Family Game Pass, and that's going to be outrageous.
That's going to be a game changer.
Invite fans, right? You're going to invite friends. You can have your kids in there. I was like, yo, that's a done deal. I'm sorry, I don't need anything else. I don't even use Game Pass on my Xbox. I use it on my PC more than I do on my Xbox.
Stu, if you ever want to play good games, bro, we could be a part of the family, bro. We can get this thing rocking. We can play.
Oh, brother. Oh,
whenever you try to play Psychonauts 2, baby. Game of the year. Should have been. Psychonauts, baby. Bro, we on episode, 14? I'm still preaching Psychonauts 2. When's it going to stop? When's the madness going to stop? When are y'all going to see the truth? Man, I don't know.
I'm too busy playing Elden Ring.
That's fair.
But me as like to get like really, I wouldn't say emotional, but kind of get about it. It's like I think that the game wars are just slowly like people think it's like ramping up. I think it's just on the verge of ending, just because like I feel like these companies are just more focusing on that, like what they want to do as a business versus like I'm competing with PlayStation and Nintendo. They see the bigger picture. Like Microsoft is seeing like the metaverse, they're seeing Facebook, they're seeing Amazon, they're seeing like more bigger than just gaming. Same thing with PlayStation, they're focusing more on cinematics. They like, I feel like we're gonna like, aren't we getting a God of War show soon?
That's what they say. They've been talking about that for a while.
Like we're getting a Last of Us show. We're gonna get a Destiny series or movies down the road. We already know we can expect that. Like they could be really good if they're funded, especially on Sony and Nintendo. They just don't care. They have an audience that's going to be loyal to them regardless, and they just kind of do their own thing. But Nintendo is a bunch of assholes regardless, so don't sue me.
I mean, it's Nintendo. They probably will. You use their name without their permission, they're coming after you.
GG's, buddy. We made it to episode 14 before getting kicked off. Man, I don't know. So, like, final verdict. We copping this or no? I'm going to say no.
I mean, I don't even have a PlayStation, so no.
It's different. It's different for me. Like as a gamer, my boy Easy Mode went. Shout out to him. He was talking about this, and he has a project that he works on all the time where he talks about it's called like Game Pass or something like that. Sorry, I probably butchered that, but he basically has a series where he just tries out new Game Pass games and then he reviews them, says if you should pick it up, pass it. What's the good Game Pass games or not, but like that's very beneficial to some people who can't afford the $60 games all the time. You pay $10 a month. I think $10 a month you could pay to play all the games, right? You don't need to pay the $15 a month to pay everything. That's just more to get it on PC and your Xbox. That's the ultimate. But like getting these games day one, being able to try them and seeing if you like them or not, especially like it's super beneficial to indie games. Like I think that's just the budget way to play games. PlayStation don't care about that. They really don't care about the budget side of things. They just say if you are loyal to us and you want to go back and play some of these older titles that you loved before, play all the Ratchet and Clanks, play The Last of Us 1, all the God of War games. Well, they probably don't have Crash no more because I think Xbox bought that, but
that's a rare, right?
But whatever PlayStation wanted, maybe like an old Yu-Gi-Oh game or something. They have that. They have that to their name.
Bring back the Tomba games, man. Tomba was my shit back on PS1.
I love Dak and Jack and Daxter.
How did we not have a Dak and Jack and
Daxter?
Y'all suck.
Jack and Daxter.
Jack.
Dog, I know Naughty Dog's busy with fucking Last of Us and stuff, but it's like, dude, I
should be done with that by now. Like, I don't.
Well, me and one of my coworkers, we even talked about it. It's like, you know how like Sony's been releasing more of their games on PC. It's like, dude, if they release like the Jack collection, just like the remastered one they did for PS3, PS4, dude, if they release that on PC, that would sell like fucking hotcakes, man. Everyone would be buying that shit. I'd buy it. I don't care what the price is. $100, cool. I'll buy it. I love those games. Make a new one.
I think what's his name? He announced that he wanted to act in one of them. Tom Holland. So that's probably the cue that we're gonna get a new game. If he acts in a movie and we get a new movie, we're definitely getting a new game. I mean, we could just probably chalk it up. So.
Speaking of movies and games, I didn't see this topic, but I just wanted to bring it up because I asked about it.
No,
What are some of your favorite video games based off movies?
Sonic.
That's a movie based off a video game.
Oh, fuck. Judge, you go first.
You said a movie. You said a game based off a movie.
Yeah.
None of them.
Damn.
No one can get it right. Like
I got one. I'll let Nick talk, but I got a game based off a movie, and the game was fucking amazing.
A game based off a movie, like maybe Monsters Inc. Maybe they came out with some good fucking, didn't they? They had some Monsters Inc. video games. I'm not saying it's the best, but like, come on, bro.
Motherfucker's talking about Kingdom Hearts 3.
No,
that level went hard in Kingdom Hearts 3.
They had Monster Inc. games, bro. Quit playing with me.
Dog, did y'all ever play back on PS2 and the original Xbox? Did y'all ever play the Peter Jackson's King Kong video game? That game was so fucking good.
That's what you brought up to the plate, bro? But Monsters Inc. was bad?
Well, I don't even think there. I'm looking up. I don't even think there was a Monsters Inc.
Yes, there was, bro. I remember my childhood. Quit playing with me, bro. There was like one game for the GameCube.
Back on the PS1. Oh no, it was on the PS2 also.
Yeah, I thought it was for the GameCube.
They had one for the Game Boy. Let me see.
That's what I'm saying. Probably some goated ass games. See, I play good games, man. Back in the you talking about King Kong video games?
Dog, that King Kong video game is legendary.
I'm sorry, none of those games are good. None of them. I can't think of a single one that just makes me like,
really? Not off the top of my head, no.
So another thing that kind of segue that topic is it's like, why do you think I can kind of get why games based off movies suck, but it's like, why is that such a difficult medium for games and movies to like coexist with each other?
I mean,
like, it's like if the game's good, a movie or series sucks. If the movie's good, the game sucks. It's like, why can't both work?
Two different audiences, bro. Like, I mean, you got to think of like the Halo series for one. I watched 2 episodes of it and I'm not even locked in at all. I'm
waiting. I'm a Halo fan. I'm just waiting for it all to end. I'm going to do my free month of Paramount, watch it and call it a day. Cause it's like, it's its own story. Like it's its own, like, it's not even like anything with the Halo campaigns. I'm like, dog, Halo had like one of the best stories in gaming and y'all are like, yeah, well, we're going to do our own thing. It's like, all right, well, you lost me.
You just got to kind of think about the point of view of like people who grew up playing the video game, started with the Halo 1 and then 2, 3. Like they've been playing that game. They kind of have like a feeling or like some attachment on what Master Chief is actually supposed to be in their eyes. Like the more cinematic version, they want to like show off his face, which is fine. I'm not like super mad about it, but it's just like you lose me at that point because it's like I've never seen Master Chief's face. I never thought you had to. On the cinematic side, you have to because
that was weird. That I was like, they showed his face in like the first or second episode, and it's like it's kind of been like a thing that it's like you don't know what he looks like. Even the legendary ending of Halo 4, he like takes off his helmet and just shows like a shadowed version of his face, and it immediately cuts. And then the show's like, episode 2, here's his face. It's like, bruh.
Judge made a really good point for the Halo. Like, if you're gonna do that, I feel like you need to talk more about like the ODST and the Spartans and how they were formed and shit like that. That would have been something. Like, I think I'm just overhearing about Master Chief for one. Like, Master Chief's cool, but his story really doesn't intrigue me. I'd rather hear about everything that the Spartans go through and
there's so much lore. There's so much story in Halo that there's like, dog, y'all had so much y'all could have pulled from.
Because that's the thing is like they were talking about they didn't want to use the game references as to the cinematics, which is like, okay, like I get that, like, but you're throwing in stuff that like people either A, don't care about, either B, just didn't think would even happen. You're just throwing in so much to where like it doesn't appeal to that game audience. Like I feel like they want to see their favorite levels based on like in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like when you did the first mission in Halo 3, make that part of a 2 or 3 episode series, and maybe like the in-depths of you walking around the map, and it's just like, oh my god, I remember that when I was a kid. Like I think a lot of people base stuff off nostalgia factor, and you take away that nostalgia factor, that it just kind of like doesn't intrigue you anymore.
What I think they should have done is like maybe not necessarily anime form, but it's like they should have just did what Halo Legends did and just made that like a live action. That would have been fucking awesome.
That would have been cool.
And for those who don't know, Halo Legend was 6 episodes, each episode done by a different anime studio, and it was its own self-contained story. It could have been about like one was about an elite, one was about, you know, an ODST, like one was about Master Chief. Like they were all these 6 individual stories. Like do that, but make it live action. It would have been awesome.
I would be cool if they just put red and blue, the old red and blue on there.
Or R being the chief.
Yeah.
Oh man, now R being the chief. It's crazy that they do so on these little spin-offs or these like fan made stuff. They do so much better than.
I literally rewatch. I'm rewatching R being the chief now. I rewatch it like twice a year, so I'm rewatching it again. It's so good. Like, granted, it's like, yeah, a bunch of like stupid jokes, your mom jokes and all that stuff, but it's like from like a creative standpoint, like the story, the filming, it's like, dude, this is good. Mm-hmm. Like he did really good with this.
I think the question I really have for the Halo series in general, in most of these games that are, or these games that they want to turn into movies, who is in charge of like the production side of things? Like, don't you think they would just sit down with the director of the game and say like, this is why I went in this direction, this is how I saw things? Maybe translate that to the director of the actual cinematic side of things, because that would be just like, that would make more sense to me. Because it's like, then you're getting his point of view. You're not just kind of making up your own point of view, which I mean, like if you're a director for a cinematic, you probably want to go your own way anyways. But you're like, did you guys see it? Who saw episode 1? You guys haven't at all, so we can't even talk about it.
I mean, you can. I don't care unless Judge doesn't want to hear it.
It's not like really. I guess it just threw me off because you got the Covenants and then you got the Spartans or whatever. And sorry if I don't know the exact terms, but it's whatever. But like,
I can probably help you along.
There was another tribe there that was kind of just like they were getting attacked by the Covenant, and they think that the UNSC have been liars, and they think the UNSC are like the bad ones that have them locked down. But it's like, it's not even that. Like it kind of is, but like the Covenant are also
kind of shady.
Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. Like they don't like, they hear shit on the news, they don't like what they're hearing, they see what they're doing, and he's like, these guys are liars, these guys, and they're talking about it, and they're like, and then they get raided by the Covenant. The Covenant just pretty much come out of nowhere, and they wipe the whole little tribe. Master Chief was able to bring him and his squad in to save a few of them, or they saved one person, and now she is adventuring with Master Chief at this point. But it's just like you're throwing in a random tribe, which obviously I'm calling it a tribe because I don't know exactly what it is, but that's just something. Yeah, it's just like I don't know what to call it. It's something, but like people are gonna roast me. I don't know exactly what it is. Like I can't think of the word off my head. I can look it up while
I think
you
a
guys
little
want-
settlement, like just a little group or whatever.
It's a group of people that are obviously under control of USNC or something like that, or to where they think they're bad. But it's just like, you throw that in there. I've never played a Halo game that had that in there. Granted, I only played 2, 3. And
That's diving kind of into the lore of Halo. Because like Spartans weren't even made for the Covenant; they were made for insurrectionists. But yeah. All right, yeah. I said Halo TV show, whatever.
I mean, it is what it is. I wish they were a little bit better, but I mean,
I don't know why they. I mean, everybody wants to tell a specific story. Honestly, I wouldn't mind bringing in the games director or storyboard director,
Right.
and making him make the show or the movie. Like, he clearly knows how to tell the story from like the video game standpoint. Now it's harder. I mean, it's actually much harder to do it with people because, you know, in a video game, you literally can think of something and just create it.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I want to do this. Plug it into a program. Boom, done.
Right. Versus people, you got to find the right people to do this and do that, and hope
Gotta
that
make sure
it
you
goes
have the
over.
effects right, the scheduling, the this, the that. It's like, yeah, there's so many hoops you have to jump through.
I get it. I understand it's hard, you know, for those guys, but if people can make successful movies, then I feel like it can definitely be done. I mean, Sonic is pulling from source material, but it is telling its own story.
Mhm.
And the first one was good. I'm sure the second one will be just as good.
You saw it, didn't you, Nick?
yes, sir. My favorite movie.
Damn.
So I know that they got that right. They typically always do. Or when it comes to those type of characters, but like those, like God of War, they're gonna fuck it up. They're going to.
Did either of y'all see the Uncharted movie?
No, and you couldn't put me at gunpoint, and I think I might take the
That's
bullet.
what I heard. I heard it's like it wasn't good compared to like the games. It was just like
It did It did the numbers. I mean, I guess
did
that's all they
numbers,
really
yeah,
care
but I heard
about.
it was.
I doubt that it did. I doubt they made their money back. I guarantee
It
they
was.
took it
I
off.
think it was close to Spider-Man, bro. I think so.
I don't know if it was that good. I mean, I'm
I
sure a
don't
lot
know
of people
about
went to
that.
see it because Uncharted's got a following, and you know it's Tom Holland. But
It's maybe been close to Spider-Man as far as opening, but
Opening,
total
yeah.
box,
yeah,
probably
okay,
not.
yeah. Uncharted probably had a killer opening weekend, but then there was probably like a steep fall off once word of mouth.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the thing too. Is like I'm kind of glad Judge said it. Is like I love God of War. I think it's awesome, but it's like part of me is just like y'all are gonna fuck up the show so hard. Like
They got so much to go off of, and it's like, yo, you got an opportunity to tell a great story. That was one of the reasons why I played God of War. I played every single God of War in existence,
they're
from
so good.
PlayStation to the PSP versions.
I didn't play
Every
the
version that
PSP
exists,
one.
I played every single one, and I love that game. I'm not even a PlayStation guy, but that made me make sure that I had a Sony system for those games. I don't understand why they can't get this right. I mean, they messed up Uncharted from day one with the casting of Tom Holland and fucking Mark Wahlberg. What?
It's the Mark Wahlberg for me, for real.
It's both of them. I'm sorry, but
Both
Nathan
of-
Drake's like 6'1", 6'2".
Isn't the movie like a prequel to like before the games even also?
But they got him in his full, you know what I'm saying, Nathan outfit. Even
That's
if it's
true,
a
yeah.
prequel, what, did he have a growth spurt between the game and the movie?
Dog had a midlife, not a midlife crisis, a midlife growth spurt.
Right. I'm saying when he met up, I'm saying they covered like how Sully and Nate met in Uncharted 3. And
Yeah.
he was still full gray in Uncharted 3 when he
Yeah.
met Sully. But you get Mark Wahlberg? What? Bro, that was an awful casting. You just needed star power, and that's really what you did it for. Honestly, if I was either one of them, I would have been like, especially if they play video games, which they don't seem like they do.
Well,
I would've been like, I'm not touching
Holland
this.
does, because he was talking about Jack and Dexter. So I mean, he has to have obviously some sort of gaming.
I would have been like, nah, I'm not touching that. I could see him being Nathan Drake if he was, an extra foot taller. But I couldn't. Mark Wahlberg was a super no. I'm not ever going to see that movie, ever.
I think Tom Holland's also just got like charisma, and the fact that he's got a background in like ballet and a lot of like stunts and stuff like that. Like it probably works so well in his favor for him that they're just like, hey, you know what? Like you're one of the biggest names out right now. Like you do your own stunts. Like this movie's gonna be crazy stunt heavy. Like the pieces just fell on. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. You're our Nathan Drake. Welcome aboard. I don't know.
It was a cash grab. I mean, I think that's another part of Sony's problem is, they have good ideas and then they make mistakes. I think that PlayStation Plus is going to be a mistake. They cannot clearly make any movie successful. They just love fucking movies up because Morbius was a really good example of another bad Sony movie. They need to stop, or they need to stay away from like the game superhero situation because
hey, the Sony made the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. You're gonna slander those movies and
not
all the
those movies. They got it right at that point, and then because they seen how successful Marvel has been with their universe, they're like, we got to get that going, and we got to rush it, and that's the problem. They keep trying to create that success, and they can't. They lost the mojo. They had a little bit of sauce with the Spider-Man movies.
I wish
they technically fucked 3 up. And
I wish Sony would just sell the rights to like the Marvel, like the ones that they own, just sell it back to Marvel. Like, dude, just sell it for a big ass thing. Like, give it back to them, please.
They're not gonna do that. I
know they won't.
It's an easy paycheck.
I know it is, but it's like that's why Marvel would have to really buy their asses out for that. They'd have to throw a fucking.
They could. Or they could just buy Sony.
I mean, it's Disney. Realistically, if Disney wanted to, they could be like, "Fuck you, we're buying you out, whether you want it or not."
Right. That's what they did to Fox. I'm like, so like either you can do this the easy way, the hard way.
Walt Disney's underground frozen electrodes hooked up to his head, and they're just like, and he's just sitting there transmitting messages. Buy Sony. And it's like, all right, man.
They're just basically listing off this frozen head right now. Like, okay, just do it.
I don't think that they would allow. Like, the problem is, like, they probably wouldn't allow them to do that because then they'd have like some form of a monopoly if they.
Disney's already got a monopoly. They'd own so much bullshit.
I don't know how they got Star Wars. I'm like, you got Star Wars,
Marvel, Pixar, fucking, like then if you look at Disney Plus, you got Nat Geo. Doesn't Disney also own ESPN? Yeah, it's like, dog,
I think they got Discovery
what?
Too.
Discovery, and it's like, I know monopolies are technically illegal, but it's like, dog, we got a lot of monopolies in our country. I thought we were supposed to keep this shit in check.
I honestly think that PlayStation is keeping Sony in business. I think that's the reason why Sony is still Sony. Because like even like if you look, like they are closing all their retail shops now. So they're getting rid of that side of the business. So I get it. I just don't see how Sony's making money besides off PlayStation. I don't see anywhere else like where they're being competitive.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm looking at just stuff Sony makes. It's like they do video cameras, and Sony cameras are really good. Like they
are good.
And I'm not saying that like that's their moneymaker, but it's like Sony makes good cameras. Their TVs like and stuff like Sony TVs are good. Or at least they used to be.
Do you know anybody that has a Sony TV?
Back in the day, I do remember. Nowadays,
I remember Sony TVs back in the day, but I'm sorry, Samsung's got that on lock.
Yeah, Samsung's got everything on lock. Let's be real. They got their fingers in everything.
Samsung's up there. I think they're not on Apple's level because it's the same thing between Apple and Sony and Samsung. Samsung's got their hands on a lot of things, but they're not, $3 trillion in profit either.
Yeah.
So I get that. Samsung's got because they make chips, and that's why that's so good.
Their thing is they make chips for like, hey, you want a TV chip? Samsung. Cell phone chip? Samsung. Fucking smart fridge? Samsung. Like they're just like, if you want a microchip, Samsung's just like, I got you, fam.
So that's where their money's coming from. But Sony, I think that is going to be the next company that you see go because they shouldn't have bought Bungie. They shouldn't have done that. Okay. They just did it just to answer off of what Microsoft did, and they shouldn't have done that. What are you doing that for? What for? They really did that so
they can make a Destiny movie, bro. That's what it's for.
That's mid as hell.
Before we get too sidetracked, I want to talk about a few more things.
We are going sidetracked for sure.
We just went from
Hey, wait, speaking of sidetrack, speaking of sidetrack, I'm gonna get you sidetracked. What scent is that candle right there you got lit?
Caribbean waters.
That shit smells good.
I like having a candle next to me. Really gets me all
candles. I burn through
down.
I burn through candles so fast because I just sit there and light it and I'll let it burn all day and it's like, oh.
That's what I do too. That's literally what I'm doing. Just burn the fuck out of it. I want to just get like a wax melter or whatever. But what I want to get into is they canceled E3.
I'm so butthurt.
Yeah, first things first. Are you guys even sad about it? No.
I'm so butthurt. E3 was like one of my favorite things to look forward to. I'm so sad.
Judge, what about you? You upset about it?
Not really.
I
wasn't paying attention until I heard that they canceled it.
They made a tweet basically about canceling the in event and the mobile event, or like the online event, basically saying we will devote all of our energy and resources to delivering a revitalized physical and digital E3 experience next summer, whether enjoyed from the show floor or from your favorite devices. The 2023 showcase will bring the community, media, and industry back together in an all-new format and interactive experience. For me, the way I see it is like basically I think a lot of these gaming companies don't really need to do E3 anymore. I feel like they're very successful just doing their own shows. Like,
and I knew it was coming because it's like Sony dropped out years ago and they do their state of plays. Microsoft does their showcase, and like every company started dropping off and doing their own thing. So it's like it was an inevitability. I knew it was going to happen, but it still doesn't hurt that it's like, aw.
Yeah, because that's the thing with me. It's just like, it's a very nice event. And you get the biggest name games announced at that time. Basically,
fun to watch too with friends. Like, you get excited. They're showing like new this, new that, new that. It's fun to just be like, woo!
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, was it last E3 or 2 years ago? It's basically like they talked about the new game systems and shit, right? Did they do that at E3 or was that a different event?
Might have been a different event. E3 is usually just
E3.
games.
E3 last year is where we heard about Redfall, Starfield. We heard about all those games. So it's like those are like games that are coming out this year that have really high expectations that a lot of people want to see.
Starfield's coming out this year.
I don't think it is too. That we haven't seen a lick of gameplay, and it's actually disgusting that we keep on letting these companies get away by giving us a quick cinematic and then us getting excited about it.
I'm so torn between that because it's like, don't rush a game and butcher it a la Cyberpunk, but at the same time, don't be like, hey, look at this new game that's not going to come out for another 10 years. It's like, why are you teasing me then? Like, show it to me in like 4 years then. Like, fuck you.
Like GTA, when they announced, they were like, we're working on GTA 6. Bro, y'all know they were working on GTA 6, man.
It's like what they did with Elder Scrolls. They teased Elder Scrolls 6, and then it's like, oh, by the way, like, we're not starting this till after Starfield. It's like, why the fuck did you show us then? Like,
bro, talking about we're working on GTA 6. Just shut up and don't say anything, bro. Like, you're literally making so much money out of GTA 5. The point is that E3 really comes out with the best game news that you look forward to, that people want to stream and interact with their people.
Man, the Game Awards is a close second.
Summer Games Fest is coming back. Like, I think the Dorito Mountain Dew Pope, he's gonna come back and he's gonna release all the good games, man. He's been going crazy, man. Keeley's been going crazy. I just
Dude, Jeff Keighley is a fucking saint.
It's just, I don't know. I'm upset. I'm kind of upset about it, but I mean, if they come out with a better system next year, maybe we'll be fine. We should really all look into going to something like that. I feel like I'd be more excited to go to that than like TwitchCon sometimes.
E3 is hard as fuck to get tickets to because a lot of tickets are for strictly like press.
If we start doing some press stuff, we can get up in there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I have press access for E3.
Motherfucker.
Judge's gonna get us in.
From Stark Industries, I literally bought tickets when they canceled it. Like the first year they canceled it, I had press passes for E3.
That's what I'm trying to get in the industry, bro. I'm trying to talk to these fools, but I guess it is what it is. We look for Summer's Game Fest and we kind of just look ahead. But
you can get press passes based on if you're a YouTuber and you have content creation. That gives you press access. So like what they do is they access like all of your social media and see that you create content and then give you press pass.
Yeah. That's all right though. Like you said, it's like we'll get Summer Games Fest, we'll have the occasional PlayStation State of Play, Nintendo Directs, Xbox will do their thing. Like it's fine. Everything that was gonna happen in E3 is gonna happen. It's just gonna be like instead of one big event in the summer, it's like little vent, little vent, little vent, little vent, and like.
And sometimes I'm cool with that because it's like, okay, we're literally gonna focus on everything Nintendo today, and it's like, okay, this day we're literally gonna talk about everything Xbox, but.
I mean, like look at Sony. They had their last state of play, and they were like, "Oh, here's 20 minutes of Hogwarts Legacy," and it's like hype.
That Hogwarts Legacy game looks crazy,
Nuts.
And they released gameplay. They released that is how you should.
I can't wait for that.
I know you get so much time to show, like a little time schedule to show what you want to show, but when you get that time and you perfect it to a T and you just show everybody what they want to see, the open world, the combat, they
showed like every aspect, but teased it just enough to like be like, hey, this is what you get.
And I think more, and I think it's going to come out on time too. But
that game's going to be so good. I can't wait.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
Quit giving me Starfield cinematics and talking about the world, bro. Show me the world. Like at that point, it's like it comes to, what game was it, bro? I think it was. There was a game where they just keep on talking about it. It's like, bro, at this point, just stop talking about it. I wanted to talk about that today too, but I didn't put it on my list. But
Overwatch 2, the Overwatch 2 meme is they just keep being like, oh, Overwatch 2 is delayed. It's like, y'all haven't fucking announced it yet. Shut up.
My theory behind that is I'm thinking they probably waited for the Microsoft deal to go through for them to probably release anything on what they were doing. They were probably waiting for that deal to get closed out to even talk about what was going on, because as soon as that deal kind of locked up, they kind of talked about it. But even then, listening to the beta testing and whatever they were doing, it's just like, I was like not interested at all. Just it's Overwatch, bro. Yeah.
Another game for me to get permabanned on easy.
I'll play it, but I mean, I'm not gonna get super into it. I guess the one thing I did want to talk about for a few moments is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I know Stu don't play good games, so I guess this is a topic for me and Judge.
Crazy.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. I'll keep it short and simple though. But go ahead. What do you got to say? Yeah, you wanted to say something. I cut you off.
Oh, I literally forgot what I was gonna say.
Don't care.
Oh no, yeah, I do remember. Do you want to install it yet?
No, I didn't uninstall it yet.
I'm like, that's crazy, man. You passed your quota. You played it for 4 days straight. You gotta uninstall it.
I gotta look to see how long I've been playing it for, but it's been a nice game, to say the least. If you guys don't know what Tiny Tina's Wonderland is, shout out to Spark, but Spark will basically say it's another Borderlands game. It's based off
another Borderlands game.
Stop. All right, let me talk. It's based off DLC that came out for Borderlands 2 from the Tiny Tina's Assault. What's it called? It's like Assault some shit, I guess, but I don't really know. Sorry, that's how much research I did today, guys. Don't yell at me. But it's basically like, think of like Dungeons and Dragons with Borderlands lore and everything else into it. It's a very great story. I've been playing it. I think it's been about a week, 2 weeks. I've been consistently playing it. I've already went through the game, had a level 40 character. Myth rank is very high. A few things I will say about the game is the customized characterization is very nice. If you're into that fantasy type of feel where the enemies are like dragons, skeletons, goblins, if you like that type of stuff and you've enjoyed Borderlands games, yeah. Goblin these anyway.
Keep it mature here, man.
Keep it together, bro. If you like those type of games and played Borderlands game before, I would definitely say pick it up. I've never played a Borderlands game before, and I think that's where Stu was going. He's like, I've never thought about it, but when I saw this game,
bandwagon.
Yeah, I've never thought about it, and then I like saw the Dungeons and Dragons aspect of it, and just the whole world, and just knowing the character customization. I gave it a shot, and I'm glad I did.
I'm surprised no one told you to interrupt you how you talked to your friend about and he got you into COD. I'm surprised no one told you when Borderlands 2 came out. No one was like, hey, dude, get this game, because that game was dummy popular.
No, I mean, the only time I've ever heard about it is when I told people I was excited for Wonderlands. They were like, bro, you got to play Borderlands 2. And I was like, I don't think I have to. And they're like, no, you have to. I watched my friend play Borderlands 3 and it looked But I know Borderlands 2 is like a different...
People swear by it.
Mm-hmm. Me and Judge, we've been playing together throughout the campaign. We've been having a blast with it. I ended up making a claw bringer build because claw Tana.
Claw bringer, let's go.
Not the greatest build, but I'm still having a fun time with it. Judge, what would you say the game is to you, man? How do you score it?
Definitely give it I've been a fan of Borderlands games since day one. So for me,
I'll be right back.
All right, you're good.
Or you have your talks.
It's been pretty solid from day one, and for me, I'm gonna give it like a 9.5.
9.5 is high, bro. That's high.
It's because it's such a breath of fresh air compared to what we got with the other Borderlands games.
Mm-hmm.
So they literally had to look and see what they could do differently, and I think they did a good job of doing something different, much different than compared to what they were doing in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes me like it like even more. It's like, yo, this is crazy. I love D&D. So they literally incorporate two of like my favorite things into one place, and that's like, yo, that's solid.
With the loot and the re-rolling and finding the dice and stuff like that, and basing that off rolls and what you could get and the enemies and the encounters and stuff from the overworld, it's like, it's always, you never know what you're gonna run into when you're on that overworld. Like, I think that's why it's so cool. You can run into like these type of enemies, or you could run into some goblins, or you could run into some skeletons, or maybe you're running into some coils this time, and it's like, I love that aspect of it. You never know what you're gonna get.
Talking about bad games.
Just doing that. Yeah, we're talking about bad games. The only complaints I really have is not about the game itself. It's more about it's more about Shift. I know Shift has a lot of matchmaking problems. It's a lot harder for us to get into games and stuff like that. I think they fixed it a little bit, but that was a problem for me. What was another problem? I think that's just the main one for me. It was just very hard for me to invite my friends to play with me. They made it very easy for everybody to play co-op with each other and to get dice if you like be able to progress through the game if you're playing with somebody else that maybe is a little bit ahead of you, or
the game's crossplay too, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Good for
it
them.
is crossplay. I'm glad that it is crossplay, because
every game nowadays should be crossplay. In all honesty,
easy. It really should be easy. I don't know why it's so hard for these companies to do it. So, Elden Ring should have been crossplay, to be honest. Only a good game would know that.
I mean,
they said that's something that they might like, because it's such a thing now. Like, it's almost like bad when a game doesn't have it. Like, I can get it, but like with the sports games, I get that. You know, you want to sell that to, you know, whatever system. Like, even those, I'm like, yo, y'all gotta figure that out, because it seems like it's like before, like maybe on the like a 360 or like that console generation. Okay, I can get why that was tough. But now, like with all the cloud-based gaming and everything being practically the same, like, yo, y'all gotta.
And I feel like even from a monetary standpoint, like, it's like, I'm sure you have to pay to, you know, like access crossplay in terms of like, you know, servers or whatever. But it's like, you know, let's say like someone had an Xbox, someone had a PlayStation. It's like, and they would be like, oh, well, I would get this game and play with you if I could. But it's like, because it's not crossplay, they won't get it. But it's like, if you offer crossplay on a game, they'd be like, all right, well, hey, like, we can play, like, we'll buy it. I feel like it probably takes an initial hit in terms of like return on investment, but like it pays itself back down the road.
Yeah.
Judge being the old man yelling at people, get off my lawn.
I'm talking to a damn dog. She barking. What are you barking at?
The thing is, what I think about when I think about that stuff too is, like, I honestly, Judge said he kind of sees why the sports games don't do it. I think the sports games should do it. I think that just like justifies the best of the best in the game, just not best of the best on each system, because you have PC, you have Xbox, and you have PlayStation. So like you have separate leaderboards for that. I think there should be one giant leaderboard for both of those consoles, and there should be one marketplace. There shouldn't be multiple marketplaces, like. And then you get into games faster. I just don't understand why it's so hard for those games to do that. Because, like, let's say I play my Madden on Xbox, but you play it on PlayStation. And it's like, yo, I want you to get it. I want you to get Madden so we can play, or maybe, like, do a franchise or some shit. But it's like, we can't do that because it's not crossplay. And it's annoying to me. So it just doesn't.
I think they'd make more money that way. Honestly, especially in the sense of the marketplace. You want a card that no one on Xbox has, right? Or no one on Xbox is giving up, but this guy over on PC or this guy on PlayStation is giving this card up. Bam, I'm going to buy the coins to buy this card because you have it.
EA bans people for buying coins.
can't buy. Ain't that the currency in the game?
Yeah, you can't just buy straight coins though. They want you to buy. You got to buy points. Points buy packs, and then you sell the cards to get coins.
God, EA sucks.
What?
What a dog shit company.
That is the most dumbest thing that I've ever heard.
Yeah, if you coin distribute or you coin coin buy, like basically like, let's say I wanted to buy 1 million coins to get my lineup started. I would tell somebody like, look, I'm about to buy this from you, send them the money. They would put something out on the auction house that wouldn't sell for 1 million, and then they would buy it off of me, and then I would get my 1 million
Dog,
coins.
you got money laundering in EA games. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's
you
so
get
funny.
You get banned for it. EA don't like that. They want you to buy the bundles, which then you sell the cards inside the packs to get whatever you want.
That's so stupid.
It's
Why
basically
can't I just simply just buy the
is-
card that I want?
it's like
Hearing that
influence.
just makes
It's
me
like
so happy.
it's like
that EA gets
influencing
voted.
gambling. It's like influencing gambling. I feel like.
How so? Because
Sorry,
2K does
Trainwreck.
it. 2K my team does it no problem. You buy VC, you see a card in the auction house that you want, you pay for it. That's it.
That's how it should be.
That's it. I spent real money to buy this card to put this in my lineup.
A lot of people
you can't
don't
trade there though.
A lot of people that don't watch my Madden content, they don't understand because like they'll see I'll buy a bundle and I'll be like, yo, I really want this card. You could just, why can't you just get the amount to? I can't. I literally can't unless I want to get banned or whatever. I gotta like make the currency through buying something. It's like okay, so like let's say you guys Judge, you obviously play Pokemon. That's like okay, I need this Gyarados for this deck. Oh, you should be able to just buy it, right? Because this motherfucker has a Gyarados.
Right.
What if the world worked to where like, oh, I want to get the Gyarados, but it's like, nah, you can't do that. You have to buy the pack. You got to spend more money. Let's say the Gyarados is $10. No, but you have to spend $99 to get all the packs, and then you have to sell those cards to get the Gyarados. Like, it just doesn't.
Strings out the process, and honestly, that's EA. They're practically gaming, or they're some type of law.
EA sucks ass.
That is so. We want you to spend money. You might get cards that are worth enough value to get the cards you want. You might. But you're going to have to buy this many packs. You know what it is? It's really similar to the stupid-ass Apex heirloom game. You want that heirloom? You get one
Apex
in
blows.
500.
That's also
500
EA.
packs. Yeah, it is EA. You get 1 in 5. You get 1 heirloom pack every 500 Apex packs you open. So you may get it, but you've got to spend almost $400 to get that the guaranteed you get it by opening 500 packs.
$700 is worth it for that 7-second TikTok clip you get of those red heirlooms popping, and then heirloom.
7 hours later, my Kirby Let's Play finally fucking uploaded. Let's go. Oh my god. Thank you, God, bro.
That just makes me want to play Madden less, bro. That's why I've never got into
catching L after L after L.
I don't know. Like, that's why
I think that's another company that's got to go down.
I think that's just like, I love and I'm always grateful for the Madden community for me kind of building everything based off that and being able to show my true nature and who I am as a person and gaining an audience from that. But I'm kind of glad I just kind of strayed away from it. Like, I'll still always buy the game and I'll still always give it a shot, but it's like the game was so bad this year that I had to. I'm just more liking just like having fun with trying out games that I never tried before. I never thought that
Elden Ring.
I never thought that I'd like want to talk about games as much as I want to, but just like playing them and just like kind of like people really caring about what I have to say about them just kind of made me just love doing it, having a passion for it. So it makes me want to go back and play older games, or like how I'm doing with Tiny Tina's is playing the new one to kind of get out the word on it, you know. So
you need to make a list of like that people can contribute to of like games that you may have missed. Like make a list of like games that you should have played on like the 360 and like PS3 or something, and like people can contribute to it, because it's like I was saying like how you never played BioShock, man. Like, dude, you got to play that. That's a classic.
I played like the first few hours. It's just like when I feel
so
like
good.
I just wish I had more time in life, bro. There needs
Yeah,
to be
that's
more
true.
than 24
That's
hours
the
in
thing
a
that
day.
sucks with if you've missed games, especially because a lot of like the really good games came out when we were like in high school, didn't have responsibilities. It's like, dude, now like being a parent, job, all that stuff, like, dude, you'll never stop playing catch up.
Mm-hmm.
True. Never stop playing catch up. If 2K ever comes out with a football game again, because EA's so scared of them that they pushed them out of the basketball genre, it would light the world on fire because that's the only reason why Madden is successful. If they had competition, I guarantee they'd lose, especially against them because they seen what they did with basketball. I was like, yo, #1 basketball sim, period. No one makes basketball games, and they didn't have to buy the rights to do that.
So, and doesn't 2K also make the baseball ones too? Isn't that also 2K?
That's
that is
San Diego Studios, I think.
and I don't know how Sony lost exclusivity on that because that was
Oh, they
always
did?
a PlayStation game. Now it's
Oh,
on
shit.
Switch and Xbox. Day one Game Pass, by the way.
Wonder how
The
they
last
lost it.
two
That's
straight.
insane.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how you lost that one, but that's perfectly fine because that just shows that Sony's losing that.
You're talking
that
about the
grip.
show, right? Like MLB
Yep.
the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know how the hell they got it on Switch. I'm guaranteed it's gonna be garbage.
it
But,
probably runs like ass.
It doesn't
Gotta be
matter. It doesn't
garbage.
matter if it runs like ass. The thing is that they have cross saving, so you could game on your Nintendo Switch, and then you could grind off that when you're away, and then you could transport everything to your main and you're on your PlayStation and stuff.
Damn.
Right.
That's so crazy. But yeah, I guess like to sum it all up, man, Tiny Tina's, I'd give it a good solid 9 out of 10. Obviously, I'm still playing it. I love creating content for it. The new DLC is already dropping in 2 weeks by the time you're hearing this, so I'm excited to see what more I could get out of it, and I definitely recommend you guys picking it up. I didn't really hopefully I described the game to what it truly is, but basically you just kind of start up as a fate maker and you go through the game, and basically there's a story and you're trying to stop the Dragon Lord, and you basically upgrade your character. You pick your build, upgrade your character, go through the overworld, and you have a bunch of side quests, main quests, and then you just go and explore the world, basically. But yeah, definitely recommend playing that game. The last topic I really have for you guys today is this was actually announced, I'm pretty sure today, is that Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced. I'm going to go ahead and click on it real quick.
Oh yeah.
Check it out. Nothing.
I guarantee that. So that ties back to what we were saying about, you know, how games would announce like, here's a trailer, and then we wouldn't see it for like 10 years. I guarantee this is what Kingdom Hearts 4 is doing. Dog, we waited over 10 years for Kingdom Hearts 3, like tease after tease after tease. It's gonna happen again.
They had the 20th anniversary event, and basically they have no platforms or release date yet for Kingdom Hearts 4.
The
was
new
revealed.
Xbox and PlayStation aren't out yet.
We do get a glimpse of Sora in the new world. Quattrum or whatever it's called. A quick look
If we
at
get another
gameplay
console, I'm gonna lose my shit.
and an ending.
It's Kingdom Hearts. It's not coming out for another 10 years.
And an
minimum.
ending tease complete with Donald and Goofy. The footage we were given shows an art style that very much resembles the previous games, but it was a much more realistic look this time around. Square Enix has also confirmed that the game is in quotes, early development. So the wait may be a tough one. You can check back on
Wait,
Kingdom Hearts
for a
4.
while.
This was also posted. I'm sorry, I need to start crediting these sources. This was by Adam Bankhurst on IGN. Sorry about that. I should really start updating that. That's my fault, chat. The trailer begins. The footage begins. The footage begins in a forest and then translates to a large city. Sora is also seen waking up in an apartment, and we are then introduced to Strelzytsia, a character that first appears in Kingdom Hearts Union X. While all seems peaceful for a moment, a threat manifests in the sky that resembles a massive heartless. I don't know how you guys are feeling. I don't know how you guys are feeling about this. I know a lot of people that are very big into Kingdom Hearts. Honestly, the games don't really make sense to me. They do look really nice. Like, I know a lot of people hold standards to Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
Kingdom Hearts is such a convoluted story. It's so hard.
The story makes no absolute sense. I feel like
Welcome to Square Enix. That's what they do. If you ever played a Final Fantasy game, you're just like, yeah, this is commonplace.
And it's just, I think I've always been intrigued of it just because, like, I do enjoy Disney movies. I will say that, especially like some of the older ones, or Disney or Pixar, whatever the ones they do. Like, they have Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Donald. They also done Toy Story. They've done Monsters Inc. They've done Frozen. They've done like, and it's something like that that makes me would want to play that game because the levels have to go crazy, and like I think that would be super cool, but that probably everything else besides that, like the story they try to throw in with these characters and stuff, just doesn't make sense. I did want to play Kingdom Hearts 3 a long time ago, but a lot of people say it's not the greatest. But I mean, I'm honestly trying to give it a shot.
It's good, but jumping into it, it's rough. I'd really recommend you play the ones before it, at least the mainline ones, because otherwise you're gonna be like, what is happening?
I watched a G4 review on it, and they were basically saying that too. They just expect that people have played these games, and they expect people to just like know what's happening way before.
Yeah, no, you can't just jump in and be like, hey, I want to play Kingdom Hearts 2. It's like, you're going to just be like, what?
Because they have like Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 2.1, Kingdom Hearts 2.5, Kingdom Hearts like Union X.
You got Kingdom Hearts, you got 358/2, you got 2.8, Dream Drop Distance. Dude, you got so many fucking games. And the stories, the timeline of Kingdom Hearts games, it's like the timeline of when they release versus the timeline of where they fit in the story. Completely different.
It's crazy how to see how much older we're getting to, because this is the 20th anniversary for Kingdom Hearts. So
I mean, I remember playing Kingdom Hearts. I remember in 8th grade, one of my buddies told me about it, and that's like, I went home and got it, and I was just like, every day I'd just be telling him about Kingdom Hearts. I was like, dude, this game's awesome.
Judge, you got a feeling on this, man? What do you got to say? I mean, I see you just looking. I feel like you're kind of about to roast the shit out of this game. So let's how do you feel about it, man? How you feel about it being announced, the 20th anniversary? You gonna pick it up? You gonna not? You gonna wait? What's the word?
Well, and let everybody else enjoy the game. I tried to get into Kingdom Hearts. I started like with 1, and I'm like, I really don't see the appeal. And then I just stopped. I started too late. I started with the expectations that I have now for games, and that's the problem. If I got into it like when everybody else did, maybe, like even like, because it reminds me of Final Fantasy 14, and I actually liked that, but
MMO?
Yeah,
okay.
not
maybe like the combat style, maybe
combat style, like the first one that Lightning was in. So not 14, not the MMO. 13, yeah. So like I like the combat style, but 1 was super clunky. But I think what I will have to do to really get into the game is I would have to watch the story, like watch a YouTube progressing through the story to the point where I get to like 3.
Good luck following that story. You'll even just be watching that YouTube video, and halfway through, your brain's just gonna be fried. You'll be like,
bro, reading the dialogues is like, it feels like you're having a stroke, bro. Because you're like,
I don't think I want to do that. I just want to watch somebody would do an overview of it. So like explaining the story and what everything is. I don't want to watch somebody play through it and show me the cutscenes, because you got that dialogue.
Yeah, no, that's the thing I'm saying though, is like explaining everything. It's like, dude, there's so much. It's so convoluted.
See, like that makes me not want to even pay attention to it at all at this point. Then, if that's the case, there's so many different games. I'm like
you were saying, if you've played it from the get-go and understand it, it's fine. But it's like coming into it new. It's like you pretty much have to like be ready to just be info dumped on and just be like, I guess I understand that. Cool.
I mean, anyway, good for them.
Disney and Final Fantasy, yeah. It's fun. I love the games. They're great. But if you, like I said, I've played the games. I couldn't put the story in terms that you would be like, oh, that makes sense.
I'm glad it's picking up, but the space between 2 and 3, I don't really have high expectations that it's going to come out any time in the next 3 years. It's just more of getting people.
I'm arguing with Raiko on Twitter.
Probably I'd give it about 4 years, maybe 4 or 5 years. I mean, the space between 2 and 3 was just way too long, you know? But I think that's basically all I want to talk about, man. Good episode back. You guys absolutely killed it. Like, I'm blessed to have you guys on. Seriously, I know I say it every time, but you guys absolutely shred every episode you guys are on. So whenever you guys are trying to be permanent co-host, let me know.
Also, just saying, the gap between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 was 14 years.
That's what it was. It's a decade plus, bro. That's a long time.
2005 to 2019.
That is a long fucking time.
That's nutty. I knew it was bad. Seeing the numbers, it's like, whoa.
Wow. But
wow, 14 years. Hamburger.
And what's great? I hear your dog barking now.
Yeah, she's just doing a bunch of dumb stuff. She's barking at other dogs because she wants to play. No, stop it.
Dude, you gotta bring your dog over and let your dog play with Tana, his little puppy.
Hey,
They would have a
Does it
blast.
what's your Bruce? Bruce is that his name?
Louis.
Dude, Louis, I don't know what kind of dog Judge you got, but Louis might beat the fuck out of Judge's dog because black labs are fucking big.
She's a pit.
oh, she's a big dog. She's massive. She's like 80 pounds.
Damn.
Anything you guys want to end out on an outro? Anything you guys want to touch on or add in that we might have forgot?
Elden Ring is so good.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to get right here.
Make sure to just get boats and hoes. That's what we are. Boats and hoes.
Again, I'll make sure I put Stu and Judge's descriptions. Yo, this episode rated 5 stars. Seriously, because I'm the best.
5 stars.
Seriously,
5 stars.
I'm gonna put all their links in the description below. Make sure you guys check them out. Again, they're streamers / content creators, inspiring to be the best that they can be. So make sure you guys check them out. Definitely my boys for sure. I'll have all of my information. If you guys want to check out any of my socials, make sure you just look up YouLoveNicktana on all your favorite platforms. This is going up on YouTube. Just type in Tana's Eye View. It'll pop right up. And make sure you hit the sub if you guys are watching this on YouTube. And
didn't you get a new platform for your podcast too? Didn't you upload it to Google now, right? Or
it was on Google. It got kicked off. I need to figure that out. I need to pay to get everything uploaded again. So.
Also, yeah, I would say on Podbean also. Podbean is now linked with iHeartRadio, so you can link it to that.
I'm going to have to go through and really just upload to everything, so
yeah,
more of an audience. But seriously, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning into episode 14. Hope you guys have a great time. I'm trying to do this bi-weekly, so make sure you guys sub or follow and yeah, be great. Tell someone you love them, and we're out. I appreciate you guys. Catch you guys in a later time. Thank you guys. Take care.